Good morning, everybody. It's me, Tami DeVine. Thank you for joining us once again here on CCN Sunrise. The big election in California is coming up, and one of the candidates is on set with me today, and that's Mike Simpfenderfer.
How are you doing today?
Good, thank you. You are running for California State Assembly. Which district?
Yes, 58th.
Okay, and it's a pretty big field of candidates.
It is. There's 8 of us.
Okay.
So there's a lot of entertainment.
I bet. Give us an idea of some of the more prominent ones.
You know, you take a look, you got 3 people that are currently office holders. You got Christina Garcia, who's the current office holder. Then you also have 2 city council people that are running, in addition to some of the other candidates who are running, plus myself.
Do you know the council people who are running?
Did not know them beforehand. Everybody has gotten into this race because of her behaviors, which is why
Christina Garcia.
Yes, which is why I took a look at it in mid-February and realized this is really sad. Sacramento is more like Animal House. And, you know, that is just absolutely wrong that we've got that type of activity going on with so many of the politicians.
And people need to understand that California is totally Democrat controlled, the legislature.
Yeah, they have a supermajority.
Yeah, they have the supermajority. They can pretty much do as they please with the governor on top. A very liberal policies going on. The biggest one right now, I think, that they've already enacted, that 12-cent gas tax. It might not sound like a lot to a lot of people, but man, when you go to the pump, that hurts. It hurts me.
well, it is, and that's part of the reason why I got in, because people are angry. I remember in 1979 when Bill Clinton raised the gas tax in Arkansas, and in 1980 he was defeated. And I think
he probably raised it, and it was probably like 75 cents at that time, right?
Yeah, and I think people are going to realize a lot of people are upset. They're upset with the gas taxes going up. They're upset with the DMV fees, and then they look at and find out these $100,000 a year politicians are acting like it's Animal House. And so you got a lot of that brewing in the background with how people look at these politicians are disgusting with their behaviors. And I decided, you know what, it's time to get in, and it's time to communicate a different message.
Let's talk a little bit about some of that disgusting behavior. Unfortunately, it's part of our reality here. With Christina Garcia, it's just allegations, I guess, right now. She's not been convicted in any court of law, but there's some very serious charges against her from people that worked with her. Is that right?
Yeah, everybody's innocent to proven guilty. And she has a couple staff members that have come out and said, you know, when they were at a different event, one of them in particular has already identified himself, saying she came onto him when she was drunk and groped him. So let's say you said
that was like at a bar or something, right?
Well, that was a lobbyist at a bar. This is a second person who has said the same scenario. When she seems to be inebriated, she goes after the men and seems to think she has that entitled attitude towards being able to do what I want. So let's set aside that. And then you look at, well, she seems to think it's normal to have a kegerator. I'm sorry, I haven't been around a kegerator since I was in college.
Like a kegger?
Yes.
Okay.
Cold beer on tap at the office. Paid for by us.
Unbelievable.
The taxpayers. And seems to think that's normal and acceptable. And I'm going to go back, like, that's not normal. That's not acceptable. And I'm sorry, your behaviors are not tolerable. We deserve better.
And it's an interesting thing, too, here in Hollywood, right? The whole Me Too thing is going on with the sexual harassment. Very serious charges have been brought up against a lot of men in the industry for harassing women. And, you know, the whole casting couch business and all of that nastiness. It's interesting to point out here that it seems to go the other way, too, and it's from potentially a legislature later.
Well, and I think what we're going to find out is what you just said. It's not one sex or the other that has bad behaviors. There are people with unacceptable bad behaviors. And we need to let those understand it's not acceptable anymore. You cross certain lines, as I said in my introduction video, you're going to go to prison. Yeah,
and you know, the thing about it is that is the media really talking about it? I mean, I see maybe a headline here and there, but why isn't there a big uproar? And I mean, with the men, everybody chases them out of town. Why isn't she being chased out of town?
You know, a lot of people are asking that question besides myself, including a lot of her former supporters. She's been watching them drop one by one. You know, last week it got revealed that she made a comment that she wanted to punch the next Asian in their face. Back in 2014.
Wow.
And you got to stand back and go, there really is time for a change.
Yeah. And sometimes with these situations, they go way back to 30 or 40 years. And you're like, why are you dredging up the past sometimes? Yes. But this was just like, 4 years ago that it happened?
And it goes with a pattern of behavior of anger. She did an interview with KQED and talked about how she uses the word homo and the S cuss word and the F cuss word, and then said, can I say that on radio? And you have to stand back and go, that's supposed to be our representative, using that type of language, and it's not acceptable.
And you're running as a Republican,
yes.
And if that was happening on the Republican side, they'd be run out of town on a rail, I think.
Well, it doesn't matter what your politics are. When you act and behave that way, it's time for that person to go away, and that's why I got in. I realized, you know what, we got serious problems. We have housing problems, we have challenges getting jobs, people are leaving California, employers are leaving California, and you got them acting like a bunch of drunk college kids.
As the only Republican in this field of 8 candidates, is there any hope for you?
Yes, there is.
And how can you do this? Because, so many people look at it and just say it's hopeless for Republicans out here.
I think people are ready for somebody who wants to go to work. That's what I want to do. I want to go to work on our problems. Yes, I support law enforcement. I do not think we should be letting sexual predators and criminals back into our neighborhoods so they can go prey upon us again.
So you're not for the early release stuff going on?
No, it's nonsense. Just ask people how they feel. They've screwed that up about every which way they could. No, there are people that make mistakes that want to be rehabilitated. And I am the first to say, let's reach out, and let's do something about that. This isn't this. This is just coming up with an excuse. We don't want to deal with criminals, so you know what? We're going to put them back with the people. And I'm saying no, I am going to support law enforcement arresting them, putting them in jail where they need to be. Our grandmothers and our children need to be able to walk to the park and not worry about the sexual predator. Our moms need to be able to go to a farmer's market. Our aunties need to be able to go to farmer's market. Our grandpas need to be able to go down the street and say, you know what, farmer's market is today, I'm going to grab something. But too many of them are afraid. And my attitude, it is time for the criminals, they need to be afraid. Because if I get in, I'm going to work with every single law enforcement agency and go, how do I help you? How do I support you? Can I ride along on an overnight?
Are you getting support?
Yes.
From?
A lot of former mayors that have been out in the cities for a long time, former mayors of Bellflower, Norwalk. We're working on others, have realized this is about a common sense message that people are looking for, and they really are tired of the three-ring circus that's been going on.
How do people get in touch with you for volunteering or donating or whatever?
My website, MikeCaresAboutUs.com, which is part of my message. I care about the people, and I'm there to work for them, not somebody else.
That's a lot easier than Simpfenderfer, I think.
That it is. You don't have to mess up on spelling it. But
Say
it's MikeCaresAboutUs.com.
Good. Thank you so much, Mike, for being here. I appreciate it.
You bet.
All right. That's it for now. See you next time.